Daytona Beach, Florida is the backdrop for the running of the 59th annual Rolex 24 Hours. It's brought out the stars of motorsport as well. Jimmy Johnson, 7 times a NASCAR Cup champion, 6 times IndyCar and 4-time Rolex 24 champion Scott Dixon, former F1 driver Kevin Magnussen, and one of the brightest stars in NASCAR and its current champion, Chase Elliott. They're all looking for that famous wristwatch that you win here at Daytona. But before they run twice around the clock, it's time for IMSA's newest support series and its first ever races at Daytona. It's the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich on NBCSN. It's a warm welcome to Daytona Beach, Florida for the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich. Standing by for race 2 of the weekend, my name's John Hindorf. I'll be taking you through all of the Mazda action this year on NBCSN. The weather, well, that's playing along. Beautiful, clear skies, 54 degrees, barely any wind, and a 0 chance of rain. Let's take a look at where we are, just in off the coast from famous Daytona Beach, in a circuit that has been around since 1959. The high banks and the fast run to the tri-oval. And contrasting that, the infield section looks pretty simple on paper, but you don't race on paper, and there's a lot of little nuances that you've got to get your head around. Amazingly enough, the Mazdas have never raced here in their history. They did yesterday, and what a cracker it was. From the lead, through the tri-oval to the green flag and down to turn 1, all looking pretty good. And then the first of some great drafting as Preston Pardus in the Police number 42 supporting Blue Help Charity went through into the lead. Derek Ware with a left front tyre puncture, and then Lonnie Unser, one of 4 female drivers in the field, lurid spill at the bus stop, and that brought out the yellow flags. On the restart, the 08 last year's champion Michael Carter almost loses it down on the perfect grass area, and coming to the line, a brilliant pack finish. 6, 7, 8 cars all in with a chance. Gresham Wagner, the pole man, won it, and the man who led the whole race, Preston Pardus, finished down in 8th. So confirming the results, Jared Thomas picking up 3rd, Sam Paley in 2nd, and Gresham Wagner in the red and white number 5 won the race. And he'll start on pole position for race 2, courtesy of his 2nd best lap in qualifying. Celine Roland will be alongside in the 87, and then it's Carter and Preston Pardus, 2 of the main protagonists from yesterday as well. Looking further down the field, Derek Ware will be hoping for a little better look after his puncture yesterday, and Lonnie Unser, well, they've had to work very hard on that car overnight to get it ready for the race today. So, edge on to the front part of your seat, because that's where you're going to be for the next 45 minutes. The Mazda MX-5 safety car in the colours of the DPI that will be racing at the 59th running of the Rolex 24 heads for the pit lane. Let's hope we don't see it again, beautiful though it is. Gresham Wagner then with the field under control. Green flag is in the air and we are racing. Lovely start by the pole man. Now, he led for about half a lap yesterday. Can he do the same again? The red and white car in 2nd is Michael Carter. He's come through from 3rd on the grid already, so that's a decent start for that man. He has done the trifecta in the last 3 years with the Club Racer Scholarship, the Rookie of the Year in 2019, and last year he was the champion. And by the way, that's $375,000 he's collected over the last 3 seasons of racing. That's the car in 2nd position, the 08, and he's pushing onto the leader right now as they go through the kink for the first time to the western end of the infield section. 45 minutes were on the clock when we waved the green flag about half a lap ago. And so it is down to these drivers to get their race heads on and concentrate for that whole time, because as we saw yesterday, pretty much anything can happen. Open top cars, these MX-5 NDs, the 4th iteration of Mazda's extremely fun and successful two-seat sports car. They start as street cars. They hold on to the 181 horsepower 2-litre engine. The 4-cylinder unit is sealed, but the road cars are taken just down the road to Troy and Todd Fliss, who turn them into race cars by stripping them down to pretty much the bare shell and then adding over 250 race-specific parts. Oh, spin in the midfield. What a shame. Oh, what a save. What a save that was for Daniel Williams in one of a group of Copeland Motorsport cars. Now, has he kept that 2-litre engine running? I think he has. Did he get a tap here? Or was that, oh no, just a bit of curb, I think, on the right-hand side in the bus stop. And he did a very good job indeed of getting the counter-steering in, bit of brake. Look, the wheels pointing into the skid, perfectly done. No touch? No, I don't think there was. Cold BF Goodrich tyres, maybe. Maybe. Remember, early days here. And he's lost the draft now, and that's going to take a lot of getting back. And these cars do make a pretty big hole in the air, so we will see some slipstreaming, some drafting. Open top car. No big rear spoiler to keep the air on the back of the car. And as we saw yesterday, everyone practicing their best NASCAR moves. Bit of side drafting tried and everything. It will be a factor in the remaining 42 minutes and 3 seconds or thereabouts of this race. Just a note on that, by the way, as we just check a little more action at the International Horseshoe. Some interesting lines there, going very wide indeed. That bright yellow number 20 of Hernan Palermo, but all's fair. Race control and our race director being very strict about what they termed consistent or sustained contact up on the high banks. We will see a little bit of bump drafting, as we are now with the leaders. Down into the braking area. Early stages, more to come from Daytona International Speedway. Mazda MX-5 Cup racing on NBC Sports is brought to you by Mazda, Feel Alive, and by BF Goodrich. Well, it's as it was yesterday. Drafting playing a part, the leading pair going side by side with third and fourth position down into turn one. The 8-7 car is the grey and blue and bright yellow of Celine Roland. Has got through into second, so splits what was the two leaders coming through the tri-oval. But it's still Wagner that leads. Oh, looks like Preston Pardus is pushing his way into third position in that police cruiser coloured car, the 42. Led so much of the race yesterday and then couldn't turn it into the victory. Very local to the racetrack from New Smyrna, just down the road, New Smyrna Beach, and been doing some Xfinity racing as well in his previous racing career. And it's no accident, by the way, that that car is in police colours, supporting the very, very worthy charity Blue Help, which helps police officers and their families in post-traumatic stress, and is particularly trying to mitigate the situations where police officers feel they have to take their own lives. Very important work, and a great social responsibility by Preston and the rest of the team to get that on the Hickson Motorsport car in fourth position as it is at the moment. His teammate a little further back down the field. Into the bus stop again. And it's still our man on pole, double pole winner actually, Gresham Wagner for Spark Performance. Nathaniel Sparks, the owner of that team, Sparky, former competitor in this championship himself, so he knows all about it. And Gresham's been quick all weekend. Beautifully timed run to the flag for the first race victory. Look at this, it's fantastic. A little bit again of bump drafting. I think that's all right. I don't think we'll see race control feeling the need to intervene. Very good on the brakes, the leader. Gresham Wagner then. Carter back through into second in the 08 Carter Racing Enterprise. Red and white car. Then it's Celine Roland. Top three, let's call it the top four, absolutely together. Ooh, who squeezed through there? 42 goes back a position, Preston Pardus. Nobody challenging the leader at the moment, but it's a long way to go. 45 minutes, half a soccer match, but it's all about planning and scheming. Just off the back at the moment of that leading group. Number 89 is Justin Piscatel for Macumbi Macaleer Racing. He's got his teammate in that group as well, Sam Paley in the number 28. Macumbi and Macaleer, both former racing drivers as well, teamed up to put their own team together. Chad Macumbi, Stephen Macaleer. Here's the draft again, coming through Speedway, turn 2. Just a little bit of a push there into the braking area. And what race control will be looking at here, there's no nonsense going on in the braking areas and no sustained pushing, particularly on the high banks. And you saw there Michael Carter in second as they got into the braking area for the bus stop, the left, right, left chicane on the back straight. He just dropped away from the rear bumper of the leader, and that's fine again now. Into the tri-oval. Celine Roland just dropped off the top three. Little dab of the brakes there. In third position. And that's not because they're trying to slow down too much. That would be the left foot on the brake, just so that they don't run in too much to the car ahead. It's Jared Thomas in one of the JTR Motorsport engineering cars, the all-silver car in third, rather than the silver and multicoloured car in fourth, which is Roland. Roland in has got back to the leading trio. Then it's the black Macumbi Macaleer car of Sam Paley. And all of a sudden, Pardus is down to 6th position with Justin Piscatel in the very distinctive bright blue Mazda number 89. Now let's check further down through the field to all the battling that's going on. Brian Ortiz, the number 4. One off the back of that small group. This is a decent battle towards the bottom end of the top 20. This is the joy of Mazda MX-5 racing, that there's always somebody to race. He's got Luca Mars in behind him at the moment. The 41 car, will that go to the high side? That's another Copeland Motorsport car. In fact, both of those guys, Copeland, I suppose you could call one of the super teams, multiple entries. Hickson with a lot of cars in this, as well as Slipstream, Provision, JTR, multiple entries for all of those. The racing really competitive throughout the field, and there's reasons for that, not just about personal pride and bragging rights. Brian Ortiz, he was the 2019 champion driving that number 4 car, and for his pains he took away $200,000. And in 2021, the total prize fund here in the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup, presented by BF Goodrich, will be somewhere near $500,000. $541,000. I've just added up the prize fund, with $250,000 of that going to our champion for a career advancement scholarship. Second race of the weekend here at Daytona, the World Centre of Speed. Hello there, John Hindhaugh here with you and the action. And there's been plenty of it so far. I don't think there's nothing going on here as Parnas goes side by side with Justin Piscatel. Piscatel in the blue car. It's on the outside for the kink. This might be a little dicey. May have to drop back in. What am I saying? Justin Piscatel's a real racer. Well, he tried to hang it out there and he's still there. Going down to the west end of the infield and still there. That's fantastic racing. Absolutely awesome stuff, and Piscatel is holding on. His teammate from the company McAleer Racing, 2 cars further back in that black number 28 car, with Parnas racing hard as well. Now, what's Luca done? Luca Mars is in that 41. Oh, and a little nudge there on Aaron Janson. Think he'll get away with that. No harm, no foul. And a huge slide sideways. Yes, we can see the number. Juan Hernandez in the 59 car. Now, that is what we call in the trade a tank slapper. It goes one way, and inside Juan's head, it's, I've got it, I've got it, I've got it. Oh, I don't got it, I don't got it. Brilliant stuff. That is absolutely the essence of enjoying yourself on the racetrack. The real joy of racing in these MX-5. So communicative, these cars. They really tell you what they're going on. Full lock one way onto about 3/4 of the lock the other, but just feathering off the throttle. And Juan will live to fight another day. Let's get back to the leaders. Top 3 now on their own have just moved away. Under half an hour to go, and it's still that number 5 car, the red, white and black machine of Gresham Wagner from Michael Carter for Carter Racing Enterprises. Further back down the field, leading the next charge, that is Aaron Janson in that bright red number 5. In that bright red number 24. MX-5 is what I should have said. Through turns 1 and 2. Leading another little group of, what, 4 cars, 5 cars? There might be a few more in there, you just can't see them. They're all hiding together. Drake Kemper is the 99 that's behind him, then Luca Mars. Then in behind that, former champion Brian Ortiz for Courtland. This is a cracking battle. All looking for points. Points for the championship, turning into prize money at the end of the season. Rookie of the Year, $80,000 this year. And 10th place in the championship takes home $5,000. Back on board with the 32. Chris Nunes from McCumbee McAleer Motorsport. That little 2-litre engine. Just over 180 horsepower, sealed factory unit, nothing done to that, but so many racing parts on this car, including the sequential SADF gearbox. Pull back to change up, forward to go down, auto cut, auto blip. Don't know what that is, look it up. But it's a clever piece of ECU technology that means these guys are flat on the throttle on the upshifts, and down the box, all they've got to do is worry about the braking, and they hit the lever and push it forward for how many gears they want to go down. It's rev matching, what in the old days we used to call heel and toe. No heel or toe required nowadays. All clever stuff from these proper race cars, beautifully engineered. Just around the corner from Daytona at Fliss Performance, and I was talking to Troy and Todd before this weekend. They have got MX-5 Cup car number 228 in build coming into this week. Yes, you heard that right. 228 of these cars already, or 227 already built. $82,000 for a car that is ready to race. And talking to the teams this week, they're telling me ran about $150,000 to run the season. When you consider that the Champions prize fund alone is $250,000, that looks good value in racing. I say good value, not anything else. Nobody thinks you can ever go racing on the cheap. Hello, getting frisky again out of the international hairpin, horseshoe, excuse me. Once again, Hernan Palermo right in the mix there in that bright yellow car. Easy to pick out that highlighter colour. It looks like he's got one or two people trying to steal that position from him. Right behind him, that's Jensen Altman with the red, white and blue swooshes on the car. They're battling in the middle of the top 20. Behind that is the number 43. And that is Joy Atanasio, another Copeland Motorsport car. However, we can't take our eyes off the lead for too long. Coming down to around about half distance, no pit stops. This is just running to the flag, and it's still Wagner for Spark Performance leading Michael Carter. Is Carter biding his time? I wonder, did he learn anything from yesterday's race? He was sideways on the grass, remember, on the restart. Could have been all over for him. Maybe you don't want to be leading. He's losing a little bit of the rap on the nose of his MX-5 there, but I don't think that's going to cause him any issues. 96 in third is Jared Thomas for JTR. And they haven't broken away. Do you know, I thought they were going to get away earlier on, but they've been fighting, and so they are coming back together again. What have we got now? 7 cars at the front of the field. This is boiling up nicely. Piscatel still right on the back of there in the blue car. Just dropped back a wee bit. Beautiful weather, clear skies, perfect racing conditions. And with just on half the race still to go, there's plenty of action to come from Daytona. It's the second round of the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich here at Daytona International Speedway. And we're moving in now to the second half of the second race of the 2021 season. I just wonder, you know, if this has been a little bit, I know these aren't heavyweight cars, but it's a bit like a heavyweight title fight, isn't it? There's been a bit of jabbing, a bit of dancing around, trying to find out where your competitor is good and where you're better. The planning, the scheming, keeping the car in position, not making mistakes, and setting yourself up for the big attack towards the end of the bout. Still leading from pole position, Spark Performance driver Gresham Wagner. Interesting qualifying this weekend. One qualifying session to set the times. Your best time put you on the grid for race 1, second best time for race 2. Gresham proving himself very quick over a single lap. Snagged both of those pole positions. David Starr there down the field in the 36 Slipstream Performance car. And he's in a big battle in that blue and black machine. Alongside him, it seems that one time he had about 3 people alongside him. And that's just that little battle that we've been keeping an eye on. With the Hernan Palermo car right ahead of them. As Hernan just pulled away a wee bit. Kamar's still in that as well. 6 cars scrapping for position. Luke, that's not Luke Mars, my apology. He's up in the top 10 now. It's the 37. It's the Cook car. Another one of the Hickson Motorsports cars. Not that it matters to the car or the stopwatch, but we do have 4 female competitors this year and a team that's run by former racer Shea Holbrook. That's Hickson Motorsports, as Piscatel makes up another position there, starting to make up a little bit of ground there. Just excuse me, is David Stapp. The slipstream car makes up another position. Under 20 minutes to go, front of the field. Gresham, Wagner. Not sure I'd like to be in front right now. He must be looking at his mirrors. Surely it's easier at this stage to follow than to lead. Just my opinion. Answers on a postcard. There's Piscatel. That is the other blue car. And in front of him, he's got his teammate. Sam Paley, McCumbee McAleer. Drivers both. And at the moment, I think they need to work together because they're just dropping away. There's the leading three, then a gap, and then effectively another trio, isn't there? If Sam and Justin can talk to each other, and maybe through their spotters, and spotters were mandatory here this weekend. You'll understand why with the speeds we're talking about on the high banks. So there is radio contact, so maybe passing messages between them via their spotters. Both in the same team, those last two cars, as they run down into the braking area for the bus stop. The leading three getting spicy there again. Wouldn't have thought it was time to push the go button just yet. Jared Thomas in third position. Double champion himself. $175,000 better off for his 2019 Club Racer Championship and his Rookie of the Year Championship last year. He could do the three-peat, which only Michael Carter has done before. If Jared in that silver car can win the championship this year, he put a bit of money in his bank. And as I say, if he wins the whole championship, he would do the triple. Michael Carter did that with the Club Racing Championship, Club Racing Scholarship in 18, the Rookie of the Year in 19, and last year's full championship. Proper Daytona action on the banks again. Hernan Palermo down on the inside, the bright yellow car dragging through the low line. Oh, is he? Now splits up to the top to cover. That's a nice move, you know that, from Palermo. Lovely, down the inside. That bright blue. Going through there's David Stapp, the Slipstream Performance car. It's the 36 with the Little Money sponsorship on the side. Lovely to see the liveries as well, isn't it? And a lot of these drivers working with the teams. Don't have to paint cars nowadays, it's all vinyl. Means you can express your own personality. I think it looks great. Makes it easier for spectators to follow along as well. Gone are the days of just a lot of white cars in single manufacturer categories. Leaders are at it again. Oh, and behind them, Piscatel's got a decent run as well. So Piscatel is going to make up a position there. So he's gone past his teammate, and he's dragging his teammate through. So that's a couple of positions made up there by Justin Piscatel. And Sam's come through with him as well. So that's fourth now for the experienced driver, Justin Piscatel. Lovely run. And again, that was all in the draft, wasn't it? Are they getting edgy yet at the front of the field? I'm not sure. Battle pack. Down to the bottom and just outside the top 10. Through the infield section, or the bus stop, should I say. The leaders already on the infield section. The problem is here, every time you look at one battle, something else is going on. Confirmed then with Piscatel in that 89 car up into fourth place. Paley into fifth, and Salim is in sixth position. Salim Roland. Just dropping a couple of places on the last couple of laps. Has he worked the tyres too hard? Is the car not quite set up to his liking? Questions we won't know until the end of the race. start, 13th position, and the battle behind him is really heating up now. Joey Atanasio for Copeland. Atanasio right in the thick of that as well. 13th position on down is what we're looking at here. Still that bright yellow car. The number 20 of Herman Palermo right in the mix there. And really, any one of these cars in the next 13 minutes could go up to that position at the moment, held by that bright blue Mazda. Ooh, highlight. That might have been a mistake there. Hung himself out to try. Here's the draft down on the inside. Little bump draft there. Well, he'd have felt that, no doubt about it, as the Jensen Altsman car comes through. That's another McCumbee-McAleer racing machine. It was not quite as polite. Chris Neenes also in the draft, into the infield section, into the tri-oval section, excuse me, before he drops down onto the transition. Really tough braking area, by the way. Full speed across the start-finish line, then you're setting yourself up and diamonding down off the banking. It's not as steep banking, of course, on the tri-oval, but there is a transition area where you've got to get your braking spot on, easy to lock up one of the BF Goodrich Racing slicks. Well, we're coming down to the last few minutes of the race. Who's got the pace? Who's got the speed at Daytona? The top three have been, well, barely a car's length apart. In fact, not a car's length apart for as long as I can remember in this race, as we head down towards the last 10 minutes. Two groups of three battling from first to third and then fourth to fifth. Gresham Wagner leads the first group. Justin Piscatel in the blue Mazda holding on to fourth place at the moment from his teammate Sam Paley in second in that group, so that's fifth position. And there's nothing between those three. Oh, hang on a second. Going to try and watch about three things at once here. The leaders have gone through and started to split up down into turn one. Was that a challenge then from Michael Carter on Gresham Wagner at the lead? Piscatel holds on to his fourth place from Paley and Roland. Then the battle that we've been keeping an eye on slightly further back down the field. These battle packs are outstanding. That's another one of the police cars, the Preston Pardus car from Hickson Motorsports. And he's got four snarling MX-5s right behind, including at the back of that group, the number 99 car. Pardus then, who led all the races yesterday, all the laps yesterday, apart from the one that counted. Ryan Ortiz, champion last year in the four, and then Luca Mars, all still battling. Pardus knows what it's like to be leading a group. I'm not sure he really wants to be there. Pardus, Mars, Nunes and Ortiz all battling, by the way, for seventh position. So three distinct groups in the top 10. The top three, then fourth, fifth and sixth. That's the Piscatel-led group, and then what we're going to call the Pardus group from seventh on down. Pardus, Mark Nunes and Ortiz. Ortiz just hanging on to them at the moment. Brian will not be happy with that. Last year's champion, he would have wanted to be with this trio as they go across the line. Still no change. Wonder what's going through the heads of these drivers. Jared Thomas in the 96 sits in third. He will know every square inch of the back of Michael Carter's car. He's probably learned the part number of the rear bumper off by heart. And what he has done in the last 35 minutes, 40 minutes or so, is he has seen and surely worked out now where he has got even the tiniest advantage. That's all you're looking for here. 1 mile an hour coming out of turn 6, not this corner but the next one. That might turn into 3 or 4 miles an hour or even more by the time you hit the brakes at turn number 7, which is the bus stop. A little bit of a slide there from Carter, got the front end going in a bit too quickly, and you saw he drifted wide. Now, is this the chance for the silver car? Dab of the brakes from the leader, just making sure that the brake pads are on the rotors for the big stop that comes up. Second and third get a really good draft. Oh, could they have gone through there? Is it still too early? I think it probably is. But you saw the effect of the slipstream. That's going to be crucial. Need to keep an eye on that for when they come through the tri-oval and see if the pass could be made and the relative speeds of these three cars, because that's what we're getting down into now. Carter in second, white sides, red bonnet and boot, hood and trunk. Then Jared Thomas in third position in the silver car. I think Carter might have got to the leader a little bit quickly there if he's rehearsing a run to the end. Yeah, a little dab of the brakes. And now it's Thomas who sits back in third, getting a bit of air into the radiator grills of his MX-5, the 2-litre engine. Street stock and sealed, no monkey business there. Big Brembo brakes on the front end doing their job, particularly at the braking areas of the bus stop. Just a note that the fastest lap has been put in by Preston Pardus in the 42 car, the Hickson Motorsports car, at 100.74 miles, 749 miles an hour, 2 minutes 7.207. Extraordinary stuff. 100-mile-an-hour average. That tells you how quickly they're covering the ground on the outside of the circuit. They're pretty quick through the infield as well. Very nimble cars, these MX-5 Cup machines. Jensen Altsman has gone off. The 13 car in 13th position was not lucky for him. In between turn 1 and 2, that's a big off, and I think we'll need the Mazda safety car here. So now's the time to go, and Carter's got the word from his spotter. Goes to the high side straight away. Thomas follows him through. Brilliant pass for the lead. Is that a race-defining moment? The yellow flag is out. That could be the pass that wins the race. Gresham Wagner from first to third. The draft working for the top two. Double yellows out around the track. Now, from my point of view, I think that pass was done before we saw the yellows around the track. And that certainly looks to be the case. Altsman's car looking rather pre-loved down on the infield area. Now, hooked the outside coming out of one. And the BF Goodriches on the dirt. Great tyres, but not meant for rallycross. And into the inside wall, front left making contact first. But what brilliant heads-up driving by Michael Carter and his team. Spotter must have said, if you can go now, think there's a yellow coming, and how right they were. They just got through. Thomas following through into second, so that was good from Jared as well, and that has put him in position to go to victory circle here at Daytona. Michael Carter, you absolute star. Managed to get the pass done exactly. Couldn't have waited another couple of seconds. Yellows had come out. The field frozen behind the Mazda safety car. Yellow flags. And that's how we'll end the race after Altman's accident at turn 2. A brilliant piece of tactical driving has seen Michael Carter take the lead just before yellow, caused by Jensen Altman's accident out of turn 1 into turn 2. Testament to the strength of these Mazda MX-5 Cup race cars. He was able to walk away from that, disappointed with himself, no doubt. Just outside the top 10 when that happened. Carter taking the opportunity, knew he had the draft on the leader, and Wagner goes from first to third as Jared Thomas goes through into second. So on now the final lap, still under yellow flag. We're going at a pretty decent clip here. The Mazda MX-5 RF safety car driver deciding to have some fun as well, and that, by the way, is a standard road car, albeit in the race car colours of the DPI. Cross the line, race 2, winner under yellow, but he won't care. Michael Carter wins it with a beautifully timed manoeuvre just before the full course yellow came out. Jared Thomas for JTR in second, and Spark Performances Gresham Wagner in third. Well, that's a story that's going to take a bit of telling after the race. The pass that made it happen moments before the yellow flag came out that gave Michael Carter the win at Daytona. Mazda MX-5 Cup racing on NBC Sports. Brought to you by Mazda, Feel Alive, and by BF Goodrich. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. Our second race of the weekend for the IMSA Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich is done and dusted. Another cracker. And looks like we're going to have a brilliant season, doesn't it? Let's confirm, at least unofficially, the results. The top 3 we talked about: Carter, Thomas, Wagner. Selene Roland in 4th position. Sam Paley takes the best position for a rookie, ahead of Piscatel, Pardus, Kemper, Mars and Nunes for the top 10. Jensen Altman finishing outside the top 20 after that race-defining incident that caused the yellow flag and gave the pass for the lead to our winner, Michael Carter, who's waiting to talk to us down in victory lane.
To win the second race, you know, it's yesterday's race didn't go really as planned. I got knocked off on a restart and miraculously saved the car. And to come back here and win today is just redemption, and it, you know, it gets our season rolling off on the right foot. Being the defending champion, I guess there's kind of like a, you know, you're expected to do well, and to cap off the weekend here with the win, and you know, get the season rolling on the right foot. You know, it means a lot, and I think it sets a tone. So yeah, I'm ecstatic right now. I don't really know what to say, but thank you.
Points for that second race victory for Michael Carter. Puts him in 4th unofficially as we look at the points after 2 rounds. Sam Paley is the best of the rookies, 3rd in the overall championship as well. Jared Thomas, 70 points behind our series leader early on, Gresham Wagner. What a great start to the season. The Idemitsu MX-5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich on the high banks of Daytona. High speed and high drama for our first couple of rounds of the year. The next race on NBCSN for the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich. Races 3 and 4 during the Sebring 12 Hours weekend for the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. You can catch all the action on NBCSN. NBC Sports, your exclusive home for IMSA sports car racing. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of the International Motorsports Association. We would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.